Hey guys, Caleb Giddings here for GAT Daily, and today we're talking about how to reload a small carry revolver like this Smith & Wesson 351 PD or this Ruger LCR. We've done 2 articles that have been on GAT Daily, but today we need to do a video to discuss this, and there will be text as well. If you're a reading type and you're reading this, great, we'll go through this, but the video really helps illustrate what we're talking about. So previously we discussed that there were really 2 efficient ways to reload one of these small guns. You've got quick strips and speed loaders. We're going to talk about speed loaders first, even though I'm holding this quick strip in my hand, because this wasn't actually my preferred method for this. And there's a number of reasons for that, but mainly it's that these don't conceal that well without a pouch. Even if you're using the small ones like this really fast, really nice Speed Beast loader, because it has this body, which is called the barrel, you kind of need a pouch for it, or you need a loose coat pocket. This will not fit in my jeans. Similarly, my very, very favorite speed loader of all time, the Safariland Comp 3, this with rounds in it, it's not going to fit in my jeans pocket in like a way that I could then easily retrieve if I needed to do a reload. Same with this, my least favorite type of loader, the HKS loader. Real quickly on speed loaders, you have 2 broadly different types of loaders. You have push type loaders like the Comp 3 and the Speed Bees, and you have twist type loaders like the HKS. The HKS relies strictly on gravity to release the rounds, but it has this knob right here that retains them by the rim. Of the loader types, this one has the best retention and is the least likely to yard sail rounds if you drop it on the deck, but it's also the slowest, and it's limited because you have to hold the cylinder still while you do your reload, so you've got to twist the knob while immobilizing the cylinder. For that reason alone, I'm not a fan of it. There's a bunch of other reasons, but not a fan of the HKS loaders. So, HKS loaders aside, there are 2 styles. There's actually a whole lot of styles on how to reload one of these small guns, all right? So you have the very broad 2 styles are the Michelek style, where the gun transfers to your weak hand, and then the reload itself is performed with your strong hand, your shooting hand, where you're gonna push the rounds in, and then you'll push the loader or twist it or do whatever you need to release those rounds. With the weak hand load, the gun stays in your firing hand at all times, and you manipulate the loader with your support hand, so when the gun's pointed up and down, you just take it and you push it in, and then you do whatever it takes to release those rounds. This is one of the reasons why I don't like the HKS style loaders, because if I had an HKS loader and I was trying to do a weak hand load here, if I twist it, well, it just spins the cylinder. So you would have to reach through the cylinder window with your index finger to stop the cylinder, and then you could twist it. And that's a little bit fiddlier than I like. So when you're doing a reload, any type of reload with a small gun like this or an LCR, there are a couple of other things that you need to bear in mind before you actually get onto the process of the reload. The first is this little short ejection rod right here, which you can see on the J-frame, and you can also see on the LCR. This is not a full-length ejector, which means it's not the full length of the cartridge, which means that if you just kind of casually roll this gun over and you don't get all of the help from gravity that you need, it might not get all the empty cases all the way out of the gun. Whether you do a switch hand reload or a Michelek style reload, you need to get this gun as vertical as possible. That's why if you see some really old timers keep this gun in their weak hand, their reload might look something like this, where they're out, they do their shooting, they break the gun open, and then they hold it all the way up and down so they can get on that rod with their thumb, make sure everything gets out with a little bit of help from gravity. If you do a weak hand reload, you bring that gun straight up and down, and then you can come up here and just yeah, I think everything's out. I have found with small guns that it doesn't matter if you're hitting it with the palm of your hand or slapping it with your thumb or anything like that. What's most important to guarantee reliable ejection on guns this size is getting that gun straight up and down. Getting that help from gravity is what's really going to get those empties out of the gun. All right, now that we've talked about that really important thing, get that gun up and down, let's talk about the actual reload manipulations, starting with speed loaders. Again, we've discussed there's two different ways to do this. Weak hand, reloading with the loader in your weak hand, or reloading with the loader in your strong hand. If we keep the loader in our strong hand and transfer the gun, we're going to fire, we're going to break the gun open. I'm going to hold it as vertically as I can get it so I can get those empty rounds out of there. However I'm carrying this, whether it's in my pocket or a pouch or somewhere like that, I'm going to grab this, and what I'm going to do is try to get the tip of my index finger right here on the tip of the bullet. And that way, when I then roll the gun over and I want to get the gun as vertical as possible, I can point that round right in. We're really, really good at pointing at stuff. And by having my finger indexed on the tip of this cartridge, I can create an index, point it straight into the hole, push, release, and we're done. The other advantage of creating that proprioceptive index where I'm pointing the round into the gun, is that works even if I can't see the gun. While we always want to look our reloads into the gun because it's more positive and it's more efficient, if I'm doing this in a dark parking lot or an alley or something like that and I can't see, what I can do is poke, find that hole with my index finger, and then drive the rounds the rest of the way in from there. If I'm doing a weak hand reload, it's the same thing. I'll do my firing, bang, bang, bang. When I break the gun open, I'm going to get it as vertical as possible so that when I strike the ejector rod, I'm getting that gravity assist. So we're going to come up here. We're going to make sure all those rounds come out. And then, again, I'm going to keep this gun as vertical as I can. It's hard to do to keep this high. It's easier if you drop the gun lower, which unfortunately drops it out of the view of the camera. So I'm going to keep it up here high, and I'm going to simulate a little bit. Again, index finger on the tip of the round so that I can create that proprioceptive index, drive the speed loader straight into the gun. The loader falls away, the gun gets closed up, and I go straight back to target. It is a very simple process on doing that with a speed loader. But again, the disadvantage of the loader is it's bulkier than the speed strip. It hangs out in your pocket. You either need a pouch or like a loose pocket to conceal it, which is why I prefer quick strips for my concealed carry reloads. We're going to look at that now. All right, time to go through the reload with quick strips. The first steps are the same. We want to get, however we get the gun open, we want to get it open. If we switch hands, we want to roll this gun as vertically as possible. You articulate that lever with your thumb, get all those knotty rounds out, and then you're going to grab your quick strip or your speed strip. Now, I have mine set up for a 5-shot gun. I use a 7-shot loader to do this, and I go 3 and 2 because I can grab it out of my pocket like this, and that is a really positive index. If it comes out and it's upside down, that's fine too. I still have 2 rounds right there, ready to go, ready to reload. Ideally, I want to get it like this. This is how I want to grab it out of my pocket, but if it comes out again the other way, it's going to be fine. So, comes out of my pocket like this. I've emptied this out of my gun. We're going to roll the gun back into this configuration. You come across the top. Your thumb's going to go in. Your thumb's is going to be what locks this in right here. Go across the top, thumb comes in, and then you peel the loader back for each successive round. And then with your last 2, you can kind of play with it a little bit. But that's it. It's actually relatively easy to do, but it does take some practice to get used to the motion of doing it. Now I'll show you how to do it keeping the loader in your weak hand. All right, loader's in my weak hand now, gun's in my strong hand. Again, the gun gets broken open. We're gonna bring it up as high and vertical as we can get it, get those knotty rounds out of there. Now with the loader held like this, instead of coming across the top of the gun, I can just go straight into the side. Everything else is the same. The gun's gonna be more or less up and down, and I'm gonna go like this, straight into the side. Thumb controls the back of the strip, and then it just peels off. The next round, same thing. Thumb controls the back of the strip. The last 2 rounds are down here by my ring finger. I'm gonna push those straight in and peel backwards. Just like that, I've reloaded my gun and we're ready to party. That is it. These are the quick tips and tricks on how to reload a concealed carry revolver.